as the only civilization in the world that has been around for more than 4,000 years. Ancient, modern, pluralistic, deep, whichever words you choose to describe China and its culture, all of them can show us its alluring charm.
What's the average car in Brazil? Warehouse or old-fashioned?
The China of today has already established itself as the fastest developing country in the world. 1/5 of the world's population is Chinese. Standing at the center of the world stage, this great country and its people are filled with a desire to communicate. More and more foreigners are filled with a desire to come here to travel, study, work and live.
It's okay.
镜头剪得非常好。
Good. Good. It's because I had such a wonderful teacher.
The people living in the different regions of this beautiful country all have their own unique customs and etiquette. I invite you to come along with me to understand a region of China and experience a different culture. Let us walk into the life of its private citizens and listen to the true Chinese story.
I'm so stupid.
放松啊，放松。哎呀，对了，very good。
I am an English teacher at Guanghua University in Changchun, China. Because I was born in the year of the horse of the Chinese lunar calendar, a friend of mine gave me the powerful sounding Chinese name, Ma Jun. Jilin Province is a gathering place for people of many ethnicities. Besides the Manchu, the horseback culture of the Mongolians has always been of great interest to me. The Mongolian nationality has a very unique musical instrument, the horse-head fiddle. I have always wanted to see it firsthand. This is a horse-head fiddle class at the Jiangguo's National High School. The teacher, Yu Jie, is playing a piece called Hong Yan, the Swan Goose. The melody is very beautiful, with the long, thick sounds of the horsehead fiddle. I feel as though I am in the vast, vast grasslands. My heart is very quiet, and I have a slight feeling of sorrow. It looks like it should be very simple to play a horsehead fiddle, but it's actually very difficult to get started. It feels like you're all thumbs. The students learn to play the horsehead fiddle from their teachers, and thus the skills of the horsehead fiddle were passed on and developed. Their performance has already taken on a presentable form, and they have played pretty well. Mr. Yu said that in their county, many primary and secondary schools listed the horsehead fiddle as an elective course, and that the schools provide horsehead fiddles for children to learn free of charge. The horsehead fiddle is named such because the top of the handle is carved as a horse's head. The beautiful and pleasant music of the horsehead fiddle cannot be separated from well-produced horsehead fiddles. Bai Sugulong is the successor of handmade horsehead fiddles. At the age of 18, he began to learn from master crafters how to make horsehead fiddles by hand, and after 4 years, he could make them himself. Now, 16 years have passed, and he works with wood, saws, knives, files, and hand axes every day. Working with them has left many scars on his hands. The most serious had needed 8 stitches. The production of a horsehead fiddle is very complicated. It takes dozens of steps to complete, and the whole process relies on careful work done by hand, cutting, grinding, and polishing little by little. The passing on of the performance and production skills of the horsehead fiddle have received special attention and protection from the local government. Bob Chow Gerju is a successor of the National Intangible Cultural Heritage Uli Gur. He is now performing a piece called Uli Gur. Uli Gur, meaning storytelling in the Mongolian language, is a form of musical art in which Mongolian folk artists play a horsehead fiddle or sirshinchin while they rap. It has a history spanning hundreds of years and is deeply loved by the Mongolian people. Uli Gur is a treasure of Mongolian traditional culture, which passes on the history and culture of the Mongolian people in the form of rap. Over the past 10 years in China, I have felt that the Chinese government has been paying more and more attention to the protection and passing on of folk arts and craft. An Yumin, the successor of Jilin Province's carving skills, is an expert in wood carving, stone carving, and pottery making.
陶泥是经过那个半风化这种材料研磨，研磨完之后就是搁水里头，那个淘，水来回淘，淘完形成浆，浆完了沉淀，沉淀完之后，再经过压榨出来是这种。
Learning that my Chinese zodiac sign was a horse, he made a horse-shaped inkstone out of clay for me.
这个就是咱们，当地的叫页岩瓦泥。它这种材料就是在这个研磨之前是像那种是指半风化状态。这是个马的基本造型。这也是整个砚台的轮廓出来了，这是砚头，砚膛，这是砚池。我家是省级非物质文化遗产，安氏雕刻技艺传承400年，到我这19世的。我安氏雕刻技艺呢，绘画、书法，再就是传统雕刻。
I don't like sports. I like art, and. The first thing I've noticed when I came to China was that the Chinese love their art, and it is important. It is also supported by the government. That's what I like. I have seen a few of the traditional arts and crafts, like the paper cut. The this is the rice dough figurines. And the ones that they make with like with sugar. Yeah. I've noticed that because it's also very close to my hobby, the clay work and so forth.
And some communication here. We can see what we do. We're not talking, but we can understand some communication. Just translate.
从南非到中国已经20年的外籍教师马军，与你一起留在中国。
Making sugar figures is a kind of folk craft work. It can often be seen in parks and night markets in both the north and south of China. Sugar figures are made of cane sugar or malt sugar, and the control of the duration and degree of its heating is key. The heated sugar quickly cools on the iron plate, so producers of sugar figures are required to have sharp eyes and nimble fingers.
I can't remember. I can't remember the tune.
Oh, very good.
And I want the.
Yeah, okay.
And I. 谢谢。对。And I want to know if the sugar recipe is a secret. 哇，好吃。
好吃。Very good. 好吃。
Very good. 谢谢。
Walking around the night market on Hefeng Street in Hangzhou, I feel the relaxed and bustling atmosphere and see all kinds of Chinese folk crafts.
can understand some communication here. We can see what we do. We're not talking, but we can understand some communication. Just translate.
The ability to manipulate the shadow puppets well depends on having a pair of dexterous hands. There is another Chinese performance folk art originating from the Han Chinese, which requires performers to have a pair of dexterous hands. It is called Kwaiban. Kwaiban is a kind of traditional rap performance. In the city of Songyan, there is a group of retired ladies who spontaneously organized a Kwaiban performing arts troupe.
这个呢，这个不啷的，给它啷的下来，就是对，好聪明，对，好聪明，好聪明，不用钱。
In the activity center of their neighborhood, I learned to play Kwaiban from them.
I can think if you do this the whole day, then, or for a long time, I can already feel I'm sweating. But I think it also keeps one's mind sharp, because you must remember all the words and you must remember the different movements you make. Thank you very much for the time I could be here with you. Why do you hang the red flag?
行，你就这样就行，来，你们俩，我俩这样式的，来，照着，行
It's okay.
In China, many forms of art styles are popular amongst the people. Amongst the people, they take root and blossom. They give the people a way to amuse themselves in their leisure time. One such activity is Yanko. Yanko is popular in all parts of China, especially in the north. It has a history spanning thousands of years. It is said that ancient farmers, transplanting and pulling up rice seedlings, gradually formed their Yanko songs when they sang to relieve the pain of their tiring manual labor and the burning of the hot sun on their backs while working.
Well, pong. Okay.
大的动脚，像这样的脚。
Does the yellow color have special meaning?
扇子要和衣服相配，这不有粉、黄、绿，好看，新鲜。
Yanko can best reflect the customs and practices of the people of northeast China. In the northeastern parks, squares and residential areas, happy crowds can often be seen dancing and performing together. In the square of the Jinjiang neighborhood in Songyan, I had an opportunity to join the Yanko dance team and twisted the cheerful northeast Yanko. When speaking of the folk art in northeast China, how could we not mention Orangewan? The Orangewan performance is rooted in the folk culture of the northeast, and the northeastern people themselves say, we'd rather give up a meal than give up Orangewan. Lishu County is the hometown of Chinese Orangewan. There are nearly 700 Orangewan performers, and the art of Orangewan in folk and professional troupes has been flourishing. This is the original style Orangewan. It is much different from the Orangewan we see on TV. Li Guangjun is a young actor of the local opera troupe of Lishu County in Jilin province. He and Peng Li are acting partners, and even though they haven't yet reached the age of 30, you shouldn't question their acting skills. They have already been practicing Orange One for around 9 years.
Mine must be. I'm so stupid.
放松啊，放松。哎呀，对了，very good。对。
Whoa, it's not so easy as people think, huh?
不是像人们想的。
The curtain had come down on the brilliant Orange One performance. But during my whole journey, my greatest hope was that the curtain would never come down on these folk arts, which have lasted throughout the long history of the nation and region, because they are a precious legacy of human civilization.
I expect much of my students because I want them to have a wonderful future. If I'm not strict with the students, if I don't expect much of them, how much will they develop during the 4 years at the college? So I have to take care of them. And sometimes I have to encourage them, sometimes I have to criticize, sometimes I have to push. But at the end, students know that it's not because I'm this terrible person, but it's because I care for them and I truly love them. From time to time, I would have dinner with the students. That's wonderful because then I get to know the students on a different level, and it builds trust, and they can see, but I'm just an ordinary person, even though I look different, even though I come from a different country. We are all humans, and we all share the same emotions. We laugh, we cry, we get unhappy. So my life is very much about the students, because that's part of me being here, is to serve and to take care of the students.